Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Live Golf Team Championship Miami Selection Show and Press Conference. My name is Sue Ann Heng. I'll be your host this morning. Welcome, everybody. Yes, everyone's amped up on coffee. I love it. All right. We have an amazing weekend ahead as we will award the very first ever team champion in Live Golf history. Now, this tournament will be a little bit different than the previous 7 events, as this is a straight team tournament consisting of all 12 teams competing. So, here's how it's going to work, okay? The 12 teams were ranked based on how they did in the previous 7 events. And the top 4 teams have a bye, and those teams are the number 1 seed for Aces GC, number 2 seed Crushes GC, number 3 seed Fireballs, and number 4 seed Stinger GC. Now, that leaves us with 8 teams left to play on Friday, head-to-head with 4 teams advancing to Saturday. So each matchup on Friday consists of 3 matches, 2 singles matches, and 1 foursome match. Each match consists of 1 point, so if you win 2 points, you advance to the next stage. Captains must play each other. There's no choices there, okay, in a singles match, so that will always be one of the singles matches lineup. Pretty straightforward. So now one of the caveats is that the captains up here joining me at this table will get to choose which team they want to play. So the highest seed gets to pick first, and then the next highest seed will pick the following. So with Smash GC finishing as the 5th seed thanks to their performance in Jeddah, they will get to pick their opponent first. So before we turn it over to Brooks to choose who he will play, let's introduce all 8 captains joining us this morning, starting with your Smash GC captain, Brooks Koepka. Next up is your Majestics GC captain, Ian Poulter. Then you have Torque GC captain, Joaquin Neiman. High Flyers GC captain, Phil Mickelson. Ironheads GC, Kevin Na. Cleeks GC, Martin Keimer. Punch GC captain, Cameron Smith. And Netflix GC, Bubba Watson. Okay, so let's begin and find out which teams will face off against each other on Friday afternoon. Let's get these things kicked off and started. We're going to start with, well, Smash GC, Brooks Koepka. Brooks, who did you choose to play the quarterfinals with?
Whoa. Can we just clarify that he doesn't have to pick from the last 4? He can pick from all 7
Absolutely.
teams.
He can pick anybody he wants to play with,
so
including yourself, Phil.
So if you wanted a rematch of like the 21 PGA, like you could pick our team and we could play each other. I'm just clarifying the rules because I don't know if everybody understands that. Go ahead, Brooks, with your pick.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll continue.
That's something to consider, Brooks.
But if you want to play, we can play. But I would bring those. I don't know. You probably don't know this because you've never been number 1 in the world.
Ooh.
That's true.
They finish at the end of the year. They give you a little trophy.
Gloves
so
are
I've got
off.
2 of those, so I could bring one of them and show you if you'd like.
That's a beautiful green shirt. Do you have a green jacket?
I do not. I will, though. Don't worry. I will. But anyways, we did not choose Phil's team. But we chose the Nibliks.
What?
Ooh.
What?
I got a green jacket, Phil.
Same
I
thing.
got one.
I'm just picking on the lefties today.
Brooks, I do have to ask you, why did you select Niblix? Come on.
Yeah, let's hear
Give
it.
us your best
Let's
shot.
hear it.
Go on.
I just thought they matched up better. Booba's been calling me the wrong name all year, Bruce. So I felt like it was a good opportunity to get back at him. He's done a terrible job
I'm not
commentating.
worried. You might have more injuries than me.
Hey,
You are
Bubba,
getting
tell me what
older.
you're
You are
thinking
getting-
right now,
I'm
Bubba.
getting old.
Tell me what you're thinking. Now, you're the first team to get picked. I don't know what they're insinuating here, but yeah, tell us what you're thinking. Hey,
Harold's going. Harold told me he's definitely getting a point against Bruce. So
You did yesterday.
Oh, now you're getting worried.
All right, so there you go. That's your very first matchup. Smash versus Niblix. All right, next up is Majestics GC. Now with Smash and Niblix off the board, new captain, Ian Poulter. Who do you have?
We chose Ironheads.
Ironheads. All right, Kevin.
Yes.
All right, Ian, first of all, why did you pick them?
Well, I figured, you know, Kevin and I hit it really short, and we could just hold hands down every fairway. So, you know, if I pick one of the other boys, they're going to be 50 yards in front. It's going to be a pretty miserable day. So, you know, Kevin and I can, you know, reminisce and hold hands and, you know, just get along real nice.
Hey, Kevin, I'm sure you know of Ian's track record with his singles matches.
Well,
How
I
do you
heard
feel?
he's the captain this week because nobody wanted to play the foursome with him.
Oh,
And, you know, their team average age is like in the 50s, where I got some young guns, and I think we're all right.
all right, so there you go. Majestics GC versus Ironheads. That's going to be good. Okay, next up, Torque GC. Waco. Who are you selecting?
I have the clicks.
Oh, Cleeks. Okay, well, Torque GC versus Cleeks. I have to ask you, why did you choose the Cleeks? Are you comfortable in your matchup
Why
versus
did
Martin
So
Keimer?
I didn't want it to pick the punch. not yet.
That's a good answer.
I mean, they didn't give me more choices.
Yeah, you didn't have much choice, did you? Yeah,
good answer.
well, anyways, Martin, you obviously know you're playing with Waco. How do you feel about the matchup and the fact that Waco actually chose to play with your team?
Yeah, it's a little bit disrespectful, but that's how it goes here, I guess. Obviously, yeah, he had a very good year. On the last few years, you know, he's playing solid golf. But I think, you know, my experience maybe will help me the next few days, especially Friday morning. I have a very good team. They're in good form, so your mistake, I guess. But we find out when
We'll see.
Friday afternoon.
We'll see.
Ooh, okay. Right, well, that leaves us with two teams, and this is going to be a very, very intriguing lineup. High Flyers versus Punch
Yeah, this
GC.
sucks, right? I mean,
There's no way around
I don't really like the way this all worked out.
Right, so you obviously did not have a
Look
choice.
at Cam smile. Like, look how happy he is. Hey, Judge, cheer up. You know, no. So this didn't really work out the way we had planned at
Well-
all.
Well, Cam,
never
you're
heard
going to
him
play
speechless.
up against a player who's obviously a veteran in team play. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah.
We're looking pretty solid, I think. The way Phil hits his driver around here, I think he'll be dropping a few balls out there.
Ooh, Phil, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, the guy's the champion golfer of the year. There's not much I can say. But I have won here. Just
Oh.
saying. Have you even played here at Doral? I mean, I've won here at Doral. I don't know if you've...
20 years ago.
You know,
I was
although it's
two,
been a
I
while.
was 2 when Phil won around here.
Oh boy, this is
Yeah.
going to be good. I hope you guys are mic'd up.
I
on
think you were at
Friday.
that clinic that I gave. You know, it's nice to see you were paying attention.
Alrighty, so that's your 4 matches for Friday. Let's recap that. Smash GC versus Niblix. You got Majestics GC versus Ironheads GC. Torque GC versus Cleeks GC. And then High Flyers versus Punch GC. Phil's giving me a look. He's not happy. It is not. Hey, I didn't pick it, all right? Okay, so we know the team matchups. It's now time to reveal the players that will be competing against each other. So this is the first time this is disclosed, as captains actually do not even know who the other captains have selected to play individual match play or the foursomes match. There's some great storylines here. And as a reminder, all captains will play each other in an individual match play. So it is time to reveal the individual matches. Here we go. So kicking off with Smash versus Niblix. Of course, we know Brooks Koepka is going to play Harold Varner the third. All right.
Hey,
There's
so
going to be some serious trash talk in that group.
everyone in here knows that, obviously Brooks kicked my ass in WGC, PJ Championship. So it's
Everything.
a new day. This is a different tour. I got a new
beat you in
chance.
everything.
What?
He's beat you in everything.
We've only played golf. We
So-
we haven't hung out on that level. But I
We need
appreciate
you to.
You have such a
We
good
need
captain.
you to get healthy is what we need. But let's just leave that right there. Yeah, so super excited, but yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, so let's see what the other matchups are for Smash and Niblix. Moving along, singles match, Peter Uline versus James Pyatt, or as Bubba would say, Piot.
Yeah.
And foursomes, you have Jason Kokrak and Chase Koepka versus Turk Pettit and Hudson Swafford. So, Brooks, I'm going to kick it off with you. How do you feel about Peter versus James? I know Peter's a good friend of yours.
Listen, Pete's playing really, really solid golf. I don't know. I'm just excited to see it. Hopefully, he goes out and does his thing, does what he's been doing, and we'll see how it goes.
Are you going to give Bubba a little something to talk about on the commentary side, or?
No, if you look at it, they're both playing really well right now, coming off the last couple of weeks. This golf course is 2 different golf games, both of those players. This golf course is all about chipping and putting. You got to get the ball in the hole. So long hitter does have an advantage if he can hit the fairways. In Poulter style, shorter hitter can help too if you hit the fairways, So it'll be a fun matchup, that group.
Now, how did you come with Turk and Hudson together instead of having Turk and maybe James, or switching things up?
Sorry, say that again.
How did you get that pairing, Turk and Hudson, instead of maybe James and Turk being together? They're like best of friends. They're young.
Well, I'm going to be dead honest. James said he wanted to play. He did say Dustin. I said, we're dead last, man. We don't play Dustin ever. So I said Peter's just as good. We'll take Peter. So he said he wanted to be out there and be in front. He wanted to get a point for the team, and the other 2 guys said they would love to play together. So it just fell in place that way. But James is the one that sometimes he's louder than Harold in the team room. So it's interesting to see that conversation with those 2 yelling back and forth. I
Well,
know.
James.
I was just trying to build him up, man.
How do you feel about the lineup against Peter?
Against Peter? I'm looking forward to it. Great player. I'm not like Harold. I don't talk as much smack. What? What do you want me to say? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. But, I'm looking forward to it, and we're going to have a good match. He's a heck of a player.
Okay, game on. All right. All right, let's move along to our next matchup. We've got Majestics versus Ironheads, captain singles between Ian Poulter and Kevin Na. Let's take a look at the other matchup, shall we? Now, the other singles match is Lee Westwood versus Si-Hwan Kim. And for the foursomes, you got the pair of Sam Horsfield and Henrik Stenson versus Sadam Kaukanjana and Pachara Kongwat Mai, your tie duel. Now, Ian, let's walk us through kind of your decision. First of all, the whole swap with the captaincy. What was that all about?
Nobody wanted to play foursome with him.
No one wanted to play foursomes with me, so it was really simple. I was going to lead off, and we've got a blended team. It's easy for us to be able to switch around, unlike some of the other teams. We took that opportunity to do so. I'd love to lead the team out like I've done in the past, and we're looking forward to it.
All right. Now, Kevin, Si-Hwan got the second singles slot.
Yeah.
Was this because you didn't want to split the Thai boys, or because, Sadom and Pachara have quite different games?
Yes, I think I put the 2 Thai boys together because they had 2 opposite games, and I think, Pachara being a bomber and Sadom being a straight ball hitter, I thought they were a good mix, and, them being comfortable speaking the same language, even though they both do speak English. And then Si-Hwan, I had a feeling that Lee Westwood was going to be playing against the next guy who I put in the singles. Lee's an amazing player. He's playing great. But Si-Hwan's a great bomber. He's been playing well. He finished 3rd at Thailand. We all know Lee's going to be on crutches. He's getting old. He needs a cane out there. So I think Si-Hwan's going to have an extra cane in the bag and just kind of hand it over to him on the first tee and, start a little mind game. Me and Pulse are going to be...
My old man's been world #1 too.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah. My boy is not world number one, but he's Asia number one. So, I mean, it's not quite as good as world number one, but he's still number one somewhere. You know, Ian and I are going to be hitting a lot of woods in. I think a lot of hybrids and 5 woods, and we'll be able to see what.
I don't carry hybrids, Kevin. I have a 3-iron.
Well, he's got a 7 wood and a 9 wood, so.
Have you hit the
we'll be
3-iron,
fine.
or is it still brand new?
Ian, are you going to walk some putts in or what?
Well, listen, you're talking about Kevin now walking putts in, right? So we'll see who gets the first one to go.
Hopefully he doesn't ask them to replay and see if I touched the ball before it went in the hole.
I mean, listen, it could take him a while to walk a few in. It normally does.
We'll let that one stew for a little bit. All right. Sihuan.
Slugger, can I play slower on purpose?
I do want to ask you this.
I'm not sure it's possible to play any slower, Kev.
Sihuan, how do you feel about this lineup? Playing against Lee Westwood, someone who's obviously very experienced.
I feel pretty good. Haven't played with Lee at all. I think I might have, but
You're not missing much, bro. It's all right.
I'm playing pretty well currently, so I think I could take him on. Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds good. All right, let's move along. Next up, we have Torg versus Cleeks with Joaquin Neiman, Martin Keimer facing off. Let's see what the other matchups are. All right. The other singles match will be Jed Morgan versus Laurie Cantor. And your foursomes match is the pair of Scott Vinson and Adrian Oteigi versus Graham McDowell and Richard Bland. Here we go. Wako, you're first. Walk us through your decision of Jed playing in the singles slot, knowing that, you know, Adrian just came off a win.
Mm-hmm.
What was that whole decision process like for you?
Yeah, I think in a course like the one we're playing this week, I think it's a really long course, and Jed he hits it pretty far. So I think it's gonna fit really well for him on the singles. And then Scott and Adrian, they're pretty similar players. I think they're both really consistent. So yeah, it was a really easy decision.
All right. Well, Martin, over to you. So Laurie's going to take the singles. How did you come up with the pairing of Graham McDowell and Richard Bland?
Well, we talked a lot in Bangkok and in Jeddah about who wants to play with who, and G-Mac and Blandy, they were pretty much, we all thought that this is probably the best matchup. I'm a little bit surprised that Adrian is not playing his singles, because he's playing obviously very good golf. He won a couple of weeks ago. That's your first mistake made already. So Laurie is a strong player. Laurie is very long on that golf course. I think he can perform well. G-Mac and Blandy, they have very similar games. I like the lineup. I think it will be a good match on Friday.
Yeah, I will start pretty good the match though.
I thought that was the second mistake. I thought the first mistake was picking you. So.
No, I like Joachim. You know, I like spending a couple of hours with him, but that's a mistake in the singles. You know, Adrian would be my pick, but it's okay. We'll see.
Okay, so let's take it over here to Graham. All right, well, how do you feel about your pairing here?
Yeah, I mean, I think we like the matchup a lot. You know, captains against captains is always going to be a great match. A lot of great players on the stage, and you know, from a foursomes point of view, there's two schools of thought. I guess you can go with opposite games or kind of similar games, and Blondie and I have you know, pretty similar games. Feel very comfortable with each other, and you know, I think we like the matchup against Scotty and Adrian quite a lot. I mean, Adrian coming off a great win a couple of weeks ago in Valderrama. These greens aren't very slopey though, Adrian. Sorry about that, but. And Scotty Vincent, you know, if it gets windy out there, that hair is going to be a problem. But no, listen, we're excited. This format is so much fun, and no, we really like this matchup.
Adrian, congratulations on your win, by the way. How do you feel about this lineup not being in the singles match and playing foursomes instead? What are your thoughts?
See, I open up something here. Even you mentioned it now. It's a mistake.
Obviously, there were a few different possibilities for everybody to play singles or doubles. I think I'm very happy with my captain's pick. I think Joaquin took the right decision, and I'm really looking forward to go for it. This looks like the United Nations against Europe, by the way.
Okay, last but not least, an absolute thrilling singles matchup. This is High Flyers versus Punch. So it's Phil Mickelson and Cameron Smith. All right, let's see the other lineups, shall we? The other singles match will be Matthew Wolf versus Mark Leishman. And in your foursomes match, you got the pair of Bernd Wiesberger and Cameron Tringale versus Matt Jones and Wade Ormsby. Oh, this is going to be good. All right, so Phil, I'm going to go to you first. You obviously didn't have a choice on who you get to play. But walk us through how you think.
Yeah, from a team perspective, this was a pretty easy decision for us because Bernd and Cameron play a very similar game. They play a very similar golf ball, and they look at the golf course the same way. And so this is going to keep them in their same element, same strategy. Their caddies get along really well and are very close, and I think that it's going to kind of lead to a cohesiveness and like a game plan. So our alternate shot foursome team was pretty easy to set, especially when you look at Matt Wolf and how being one of the longest players on LIV, if not, well, Bryson's out here, but right behind Bryson, he's hitting the ball in places that we just don't see, and so he's got so much firepower that when he gets in a groove and he gets it going, we've seen throughout the LIV events that he shoots some scores on some very challenging courses, and this is one of them. His length allows him to see this golf course totally different in a much more aggressive frame of mind, and so I love his game for match play because he's going to be able to take advantage of a lot of the holes, make birdies, get at some of these pins despite the water, despite the challenges, because he'll be coming at it with a much shorter club. So I really like him in singles, and I really like Bernd and Cameron together and the cohesiveness that they provide. And then, Cameron Smith and I, well, our match will be irrelevant is the game plan. Like, that's our plan. So,
You sound pretty confident.
but we are still going to play. I mean, we'll still play.
Are you going to be wearing shorts this week to intimidate Cameron with your calves, maybe?
But that's our very, well, there's no intimidating. He's champion golfer of the year. Look at, CGOTY, champion golfer of the year. He's got the claret jug. I think he was sipping out of it last night. I mean, that's a strong flex. Nothing that a calf can do to top that. Like, he's got the claret jug. That's the coolest moment to have that trophy for a year is really special. And I think that, but it's a great opportunity for me to be able to try to compete against the champion golfer of the year. I look forward to it. It'll be fun.
Ken's looking at his clock.
You done? Yeah, go ahead. I figured if I talked enough, he wouldn't be able to get anything in. Do we have to move on now? So go ahead. Take it away.
No, I actually have to ask Cam a question. So, Cam, how are you feeling about these lineups? First of all, you playing with Phil, but also how did you kind of pair up Matt Jones and Wade and putting Mark in a singles match?
Yeah, I like that lineup. I think the boys, we all kind of gel. We all kind of play the same type of game. Would have been happy with any foursomes match there, but Leash plays a different golf ball. That went into a lot of it. Jonesy and Wade hit a lot of fairways out there, and that rough's pretty gnarly. I think even if you're coming in with a wedge or a 9-iron, it's pretty penal, especially with those water carries and those tucked pins. So, yeah, I like it. That's it.
Okay. Well, Mark, shall we ask you a question, Mark? He brought his stash game this week. I love it. All the Aussies have it. Wade has it. Matt?
Jonesy's trying to grow
All right.
it. He's like me.
All of you have it. Mark, how do you feel about playing with Matthew?
Yeah, it's going to be good. Obviously, he's been playing well this year. Like Phil said, shot some great scores on tough golf courses. I decided to grow the mow out, thought it might distract him a little bit. But no, it's going to be a good week, hopefully. Like I said, good matchup for both teams, and hopefully we can get off to a good start.
So there it is, everyone. Your 4 matchups in the quarterfinals of the LIV Golf Team Championships. We're in for a great day of competition on Friday. Thank you to all of our captains and all of our players who joined us today for this very first LIV Golf Team Championship Selection Show press conference. I will now turn it over to Jane, who will open it up for questions from the media. Thank you, everyone.
guys, we'll open it up. You can ask any questions, any captains, or any of the players that are up here. We have the entire team from all 8 of these teams up here. I'll start with Mike, per usual.
Ian, sorry, Ian. Between you and Lee and Henrik, I think you have about 300 or so career matches in singles and doubles. How will that translate into this week?
I didn't realize it was that many. I mean, I guess we are pretty old, but hopefully that lends itself to the experience side of things. You know, it's you know, we've always played well in team matchups. It's something we're pretty proud of. And as you say, look, 300 and something matches hopefully is a big thing for us, obviously, to get through this first round.
And then one question for Phil. Obviously, you do have success here at Doral. Do you get to impart that knowledge to your other team? How much will you talk about that this week?
We'll talk a little bit about it. This golf course has a lot of holes that require a lot of demanding shots, but it sets up very differently with shot dispersion for a left-handed player and right-handed player. So a lot of holes I have to be a little bit more conservative on, where a right-hand player can be a little more aggressive. I mean, for example, the second shot into 18, right? The way it sits, if you're a right-handed player and you pull it a little bit, the second shot will go longer left, should still catch green. And as my shot dispersion is going to be short left if I come out of it. And so that second shot, I'll have to be a little bit more conservative, whereas a right-handed player can be more aggressive. There's a lot of holes on there that reverse, though, that allow me to be a little more aggressive. Second shot into 3. I'm going to take on that pin a little bit more than a right-handed player. So it sets up, the course sets up very differently because of the demandingness, the precision and how demanding it is. It requires some incredible ball striking, but there are times that you can take it on, times you can't, and it actually sets up quite different for a left-handed player as a right-handed player. So you'll see a different strategy for us.
Great. If you guys can raise your hand, and then please state the outlet that you're with and your name.
Hey guys, Teddy Fenton with Luckiest Golfers on Earth. Congratulations, this is a great event. Psyched for the matches. My question's for Phil. Cam made a comment about you dumping some in the water with your driver. Are you going to be using your new driver, the 2 Plus Callaway out here?
I do have it. I don't know if it'll be in the bag this week or not. It seems like there's holes actually where I want the extra distance of my regular driver, and then it seems like the yardage isn't quite working for that club. I either want to like go after one, or I want to pull back a little bit more to fit the wider part of the fairway. So although it's a club I anticipate using more in the future, I don't think it's going to be as advantageous this week.
Okay, thanks, Phil.
Hi, a question for Ian. This is Ian Carter, BBC.
Hey.
Hi, Ian. There was an interview with Rory McIlroy that's been published this week, in which he described you guys going to live in Ryder Cup terms as a betrayal. So I need to ask you what your reaction to that was.
A betrayal? I mean, we can still qualify for the team, as far as I'm aware. Unless we've been told we can't qualify, then, you know, I'm still, you know, ready to play as much as I possibly can and try and make that team.
I think the point he was making was that the very fact that you may have jeopardized a Ryder Cup future, and likewise for Ian and Henrik and Graham, I don't know if they'd be prepared to comment, but...
Yeah, I mean, look, my commitment to the Ryder Cup, I think goes before me. I don't think that should ever come in question. You know, I've always wanted to play Ryder Cups and played with as much passion as anyone else that I've ever seen play a Ryder Cup. So, you know, I don't know where that comment's really come from, to be honest. So,
I don't know if Lee or Henrik have anything to say on it.
Evan Priest from Golf Digest. Just got a question for Cam. What exactly about playing against Phil Mickelson are you looking forward to on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a gimme match. I think Phil's kind of playing it up a little bit there. Phil's still playing some pretty good golf. I think he's probably beat me the last couple of weeks. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good match. We actually played together in Bangkok. Phil played well. He still does all right for an old fella.
And just to follow up, Phil, you seem cautious to maybe not sledge or intimidate Cam too much. Is there a reason behind that? Do you not want to sort of wake the snake?
No, I love the way he plays. I love the way he swings the club. I love the way he hits it. His short game is remarkable. I love the way he rolls it. But it's not just that he makes putts. It's how he does it. Like if you watch, he's looking at the hole all the time. He's getting out into the putt. If you watch him swing the club, it's got this beautiful rhythm. It looks like he's a swinger of the club rather than like a slasher or a hitter. I just love the way he plays. I enjoy watching him play and compete, and I'm actually going to really enjoy the opportunity to compete against him. But I think a lot of him as a player, and not just as a person, but how he plays the game, I really like.
James.
Hi, James Corrigan from The Telegraph. Sorry, it's another Rory McIlroy question for Phil. Phil, hi. A couple of weeks ago, you said you saw Liv trending upwards and PGA Tour trending downwards. I'm not sure if you saw, but Rory McIlroy came out and said that that's just propaganda on your behalf. And can you just speak to that?
Well, first of all, what a great win he had last week. Like, he played some great golf, and I think that it was an impressive victory. But just and maybe I shouldn't have said stuff like that. I don't know. But if I'm just looking at Live Golf and where we are today to where we were 6-7 months ago, and people are saying this is dead in the water, and we're past that, and here we are today, a force in the game that's not going away, that has players of this caliber that are moving professional golf throughout the world, and the excitement level in the countries around the world of having some of the best players in the game of golf coming to their country and competing. It's pretty remarkable how far Live Golf has come in the last 6-7 months. I don't think anybody can disagree with that.
One over here.
David Barnett with the Tour Junkies. I think this is probably best for Phil. DJ's team, the Four Aces, they're 2-1 right now to win this. But now you guys are able to use rangefinders, and given like DJ and Austin's track record with math, I'm curious if you see that as a value that people should jump on, or just any thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, those numbers can be very confusing, for them. And what the rangefinders does is it really helps me, because I don't have yardages on sprinklers from other fairways. And so when I get over there, like, I have much more committed swing because I know exactly how far it is. Otherwise, we're trying to like angle it, and it's just a lot of work to get yardages to one hole from 2 fairways, let alone 3. And lasers just give me that freedom. I mean, it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that the first time lasers were ever allowed on the PGA Tour was the PGA Championship in 2021. I mean, look how that ended up. Like, it's no coincidence.
What happened?
No, we all know. Well, yeah, we all know.
Anyone else?
Just a question for Phil. This is Riyadh Al Samurai from the Daily Mail. It's another one on the Rory McIlroy interview in the Guardian today. He's spoken more generally about it and said this us versus them thing has gotten way out of control already, and sort of he's encouraging some level of kind of reconciliation, I suppose is not possibly the word, but I'm just wondering from your perspective what that needs to look like and how this whole situation moves forward.
I think a lot of Rory. I really have the utmost respect for him, and I look at what he's done in the game and how he's played this year and his win last week and #1 in the world now. And I have a ton of respect for him. And we'll have, as players here, 3 months off after this event to talk about things like that and so forth. But this week, something's happening that I don't want to deflect focus on, which is we've never had a team event like this in professional golf. We've never had this type of match play opportunities where the number of matches, the number of players continue to stay the same Friday and Saturday, where there's enough interest and stuff going on for fans to come out and watch and be interested in television and what have you. And so we like a normal match play, you have fewer and fewer matches and less interesting days as the week goes on. And so this week is something totally different. And I think I don't want to take away from that. We can talk about that, your questions afterwards, but this is a unique thing happening in professional golf, and it's pretty exciting. And to be on a historic course that held a tour event for longer than I think just about any other event, or was in the top 3 or 4 with the Catskills started back in the 60s, I believe, when they created this place. It's pretty special to have this monumental event take place on this site, too. So I don't want to detract from what's happening this week.
Got another one over here.
Yanni Crocus, WPBF in West Palm. This is for you, Brooks. As a local South Florida guy, how nice is it to finish off your season relatively back home? And how much have you played this course, with the PGA leaving here a few years back? What kind of success or challenges have you had?
Yeah, I mean, it's super nice to be able to, drive an hour and 20 minutes down the road and be able to get here. I don't know how many guys I'd say in this field. There's probably 10 that live in Jupiter, so it's convenient. And I think a lot of us have just played it. If you've grown up in Florida playing junior golf tournaments or just playing it for fun, and then obviously, the PGA Tour was here for years. So played it quite a bit and feel comfortable. But like you said, it's nice to have family, friends, be able to come to an event when they don't get to see us play too much.
Another question for Ian and also for Phil. You've both figured very prominently in team events, Ryder Cups, President's Cups, and in your case, Phil, as well as the Ryder Cup. I just wonder, with this format and the way that it's going to be set out, how you guys are going to go about sort of harnessing the kind of juices that we've seen from you in those events in the past for this week coming up, and how you kind of are going to harness crowds and partisanship and that kind of thing that always goes with captivating team golf.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, it's a great golf course. It lends itself, obviously, with the close to this course being pretty exciting. As the team matchups stand right now, the matchups themselves are intriguing. To have this format of foursomes and obviously 2 singles matches, and then obviously we've got 4 scores to count on Sunday. To pick a winner right now would be silly to try and do that. So I think I think it's gonna be an exciting Sunday. We need to get there first. So in terms of our team, we've been pretty excited to be part of this format first and foremost. I think we can deliver a lot in this format. I think we've got a strong team, and it's going to be a fun Sunday. And whoever holds that trophy on Sunday night, I'm sure going to be pretty happy, pretty pumped, and we might even see a fist pump out of Lee Westwood. Maybe not.
Great. Anyone else?
Well, to answer, I don't have quick answers, but I'll try. There's some elements of those team events that can apply, that knowledge and experience can help, and there's some that simply don't. I mean, we don't have anybody sitting out, and we don't have the rich history and probably the pressure that those other events have, whereas this is really a fun event. Like, we're having a blast. So there's that, and nobody's sitting, everybody's playing, so we're working on strategy. I think what the one thing like experience has helped is trying to get similar games together for, let's say, foursomes or alternate shot, because in the past you're like, well, if we put a long hitter with a short hitter, like that's going to give him a chance to do this and a chance to do that. Like sometimes you overthink it, and sometimes I've found that the alternate shot teams play the best when they just kind of play a similar game, and so they don't have to look at things differently. They just play their game. They feel more comfortable, and they end up playing some of their best golf. And so those little things might help experience-wise when we've picked up little tidbits of knowledge over the years. But for the most part, there's a lot of things that don't really overlap.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, captains. Good luck. And we will see 4 of you back here on Friday with the top 4 seeds. So look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Attaboy.